She's a sleeping giant, and I'm a loaded gun. I pull the trigger back in the morning sun.
This is the Eric Von Wade Show. The Mushroom Cloud of Truth. That was my Etta Kanyas impression. I don't know. Let's see. Let me make sure all the mics are up. Got you on purple. All right.
All right. You're doing a great job today. I just want to let you know.
There's a lot going on here. This is a lot of fun.
You can sit wherever you want to sit here. You can. I guess you can sit next to me. Where do you want to put Mark Scott?
Jump on. Yes. Jump on in on the red
Many people
one.
know Mark Scott.
Are you going to cut another one?
Yeah, we're on.
Yeah, well, right here where the dogs are sitting
time.
and all the rest of that, that's where we're good.
Yes, we've got a good crew.
Let me see if I
Live
can do this
here-
without taking my new
here-
hat off. How do you like this?
I like it, man. The Charlene did a little custom job on the other one.
Yeah, this one right here, I couldn't say no. $24 at a pawn shop.
Hey, nothing wrong with
And
that.
it had a few yeah, and it fit. It shrunk a little bit, or my head is swollen since last time I bought a hat. It could be either way. But oh, there we go. I can hear myself now. It just doesn't seem like radio. I tell you, we've had a busy week. Many people know City Councilman Mark Scott as the preeminent man of fashion.
Oh, there you go.
As
Yeah, so he says.
as Mr. San Jacinto, as our preeminent public servant, but he's also a fantastic outdoorsman.
I love the outdoors.
And so, here it is. We've got this beautiful weather. It's fantastic.
Oh,
And
my gosh.
I woke up today and I'm like, I'm not sweating.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because I go outside with a cup of coffee about
Yeah.
5:30, 6:30. It's so nice just sitting there watch the sunrise.
oh yeah. I've got a new dog, Charlene, that I've adopted here. She wakes me up by wagging her tail really hard. It's like somebody beating the dust out of a rug. And so I don't even need an alarm anymore. We go outside and it's a beautiful day. I mean, look at this. We're here at Doc Seafood and Steaks. It is a gorgeous day. We got clear skies. There's a name for this in aviation. What do they call it when it's like stark clear or?
I don't know.
There's a name for
I
this
know
thing.
flat water.
But
So
man,
so I actually bike ride on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and today would be we ride 6 to 7.
Wow.
I'm not because it's dang sinus infection, but
Man.
what a great this would be. So when bike riders get up and see this, we get very excited.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
no wind.
Absolutely. Well, I like it's got just a little bit of
Just
a
a
breeze,
little.
right? And this would be like I had a great chance to do some wing shooting with Oggs here. What was it?
Sunday.
Sunday, yeah,
Yes.
Sunday. And so,
All right, I went Saturday.
I tell you, that was the most fun I've had shooting 6 birds ever. I think,
It
Oh
was-
no, yeah, I'm there.
It was moderate to slow, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well,
you
here's
know,
the-
and it's
Generally
so much about,
speaking, where were you?
towards Cal Allen. We'll
Okay,
just leave it there.
Sure,
Yeah,
I
towards Cal
hunted
Allen.
out towards Cal Allen last Thursday.
yeah.
And then I hunted around Portland Saturday.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then tonight I'm going south of Kingsville. So
Now I haven't hunted
Okay.
Portland in a long time. How are the birds over there? Because they seem to be like they're like when you're driving down the road through Portland. You
they
see
were fine. There were plenty of birds. I'm a terrible. It is actually fascinating to be how horrible of a shot I can be. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I wasn't raised wing shooting. I didn't actually start hunting until I was in college. But I've been enough. You know, I've got
Right.
my hours in. You would think. Here's my thought, though. But wherever I hunt, the earth spins differently. It's weird, you know.
Yeah.
I think the wind changes. I think it's not me, of course.
There was a basketball coach that you're reminding me of right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have ever heard the name Bobby Knight.
Oh, sure. I knew Bobby Knight.
But Bobby Knight had arguments about the barometric pressure changing the speed in which the ball was passed. That
All
was
right.
throwing his players
Yeah.
off. And
That sounds like BS too, actually. I know mine is. But I'm like, really? I swear I should have shot that bird. But hope eternal. Right?
I can fix you.
Really?
I swear.
Buy more shells? What's
No,
the
no,
answer?
no. Here's the thing. One, have you ever had your shotgun fitted to you, trimmed?
I think that's a good point. I think my arms are longer and
Yep.
it's too short for my gun stock is
Well,
short.
if that's the case, it may be how you're mounting it. And I can say this, here is the reality that most people don't realize. All your shotgun stocks come long for long arm people like you, right? Now, that doesn't mean that they're long enough. If you're putting the shotgun in at
shorten
an angle, you want that shotgun to come in at a direct 90-degree angle, a T on your chest, flat up from the ground to that. So whatever position you're in, if you take the time to get the shotgun level to the ground,
Right.
bring it straight up, and then back into your
I
shoulder.
think that's a big deal.
You bring the shotgun to your face, not your face to the shotgun.
All right. Okay. Actually, I think that's a big deal. I had my shotgun fell one day and
Yeah.
it chipped the wood and it really upset me.
Well, little
And so
things.
we had it cut down like a 1/4 inch just because
Okay.
I didn't like that
Yeah.
chip.
I had to
And
do
think
that too. That's why I got to buy another shotgun. My wife is listening.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Never enough.
Once the shotgun makes it into the safe or the closet,
Yeah.
it's always been there.
Oh no,
It's
Yeah.
always been there. Now I know you're.
I'll see.
Look, Carol Scott is one of those keen-eyed. She's
Yeah.
like those shows where they hire some outside person to come in because they don't miss anything. Right?
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, but this helps you to be a better collector.
Well, and I was, it's all relegated to a closet. So I actually have I shot 2 nail guy in the last couple of years, and I had a European mounts to both of them.
Whoa.
She says that's awesome in the closet. So I've got a deer, and it was a coal buck. I thought it was really funky looking,
Yeah.
so I mounted it. So I've got a coal buck and 2 nail guy mounted in the closet. Actually, one is on the wall. The other one's just sitting there because there's no place for it. So, yeah, if I have any hunting stuff, it's in the closet in the front bedroom. But, hey, man, that's my space.
Well, here's the thing: for somebody who's a bad shot, you're coming back with all sorts of game here.
I
don't-
know, well,
I mean,
yeah,
you
I don't
know,
wanna brag or anything,
I think we're getting sandbagged here. Alex.
Yeah.
I mean, if what I'm telling you is true with a shotgun.
I'll do that, actually.
People do not take the time to go to a reputable gun store, have them measure your length
You're
of
right.
pull, so you know. When I brought this up, I don't know if you happen to know a fella. He comes before city council every now and then. Teal Construction. We got
Mike.
I have no idea who you're talking
Michael
about.
Miller.
Yeah, I know Mike.
And he knew exactly 14 3/4 was his length of pull.
Really?
Boom! Yesterday, just threw it out there. I go, well, now I know he's not blowing smoke up my
Well,
skirt.
and it's like they say, you can spend $6,000 to $7,000 or $10,000 on great golf clubs, or you
Right.
can buy that Perazzi you were talking about, that Krieghoff you were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, $150,000.
But if you pay for one lesson,
Yeah.
Right.
you're probably going to shoot a lot better.
Oh,
just
yeah.
just from learning those mechanics.
My simple math, the way I say it is, it's not the putter, it's the putter.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not the putter, it's the guy swinging the
Well,
club. The
yeah.
same kind of thing.
I heard it like this: it's not the
Ridiculous.
putter, it's the putts. You
Yeah.
know, so I
Yeah.
mean, a little Yiddish there, here, and there, but.
Well, I'm gonna. So first of all, you take it level,
Right.
bring it up, and then bring
Right.
it to your chest.
Exactly. You
All
can.
right, stay tuned.
So you always want to keep the shotgun barrel pointed up or down
Oh,
for safety,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
I like mine down. Just because I'm kneeling down typically or whatnot.
Oh, do you kneel when you're in the field? You're,
Yeah,
you're in a
I'm
kneeling
kneeling
position?
down. Now
I can't get up like I used to.
well,
so-
I'll bring a low stool, but I like to sit low because the birds after the first
I
weekend,
agree.
they're smart enough to
I
know.
agree.
Oh, that's the profile of somebody with a fire stick.
Right.
You know, and
They got Carl last week. How am I
yeah.
going to-
Oh, right.
where's Bob? Where's Bob? You know, and
I
so
agree.
the
I bought a cloth this week. Then I thought I can get 2 little sticks
Yep.
and tie the cloth in front of me so that, because you got the brush behind
Right.
you. Because
Yeah.
usually you're in a field, but you're in front of the brush. And so that's my latest thing. That's
okay,
gonna be my
now
latest.
here, this is the first time you're going to hear me reveal one of my secrets.
Yeah,
all
all
right. We're doing this live at Doc's, the Eric Von Wade show.
Absolutely.
There's a thing,
There's a thing.
and it's been so long since I bought it. It's called the Shadow, I think, the Shadow Screen. If you look this up, you can describe this online, and you'll find this. It is like Predator, right? You know how you would reflect the around him?
right.
They make one that unrolls. It's got 2 nice little sticks that hold it out.
I need sticks.
Pop it down. You put it at an angle, and it looks like the surrounding area.
Wow.
And you're right
All
behind
right.
it. It works. You'd think that it would be like a big mirror, and you'd have lights. No, it works fantastic, and it rolls back up into a nice little hard, like a short case for a fishing rod. You know, that
Sure.
collapses down.
Yep.
And then you're good to go. Best investment ever. The only thing is make sure you roll it up without the sticks inside it, because if you do that, then you get dents in your
and that'll-
screen. But other than that, it's fantastic, and then it rolls back up. You don't have to worry about it getting tangled up, snagged, torn, whatever else. And it works for bow hunting. It works for gun hunting on the ground. It works for. But now your dove are up high. The best thing you could do for dove is find a shadow.
was
Stand
in
in
a
the
shadow.
shadow.
Well,
Saturday.
and it's they're like a T-Rex. Their vision is
Right.
based
They
on
see-
Moody Gardner. He's wearing a blue and white Hawaiian shirt,
I was going to ask you that.
and he's staying still right next to the truck,
Yeah.
and he's killing more birds than the rest.
Okay,
of
you know, I wonder about because I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
is blue jeans? Because I wear blue jeans, and I wonder, I blame it on the blue jeans, and
Okay.
then I'll get fully camoed, and it still hit the same.
I'm going to give away another secret, guys. This is another absolute truism. When you buy any of your brands of detergent, okay,
Yeah.
Dove don't smell scent, so you think, oh, it's not as important. They're designed to preserve the color that you have in your shirt. So when you start to hit that evening light, they pop and they glow. You'll see. Now, if you wash them in the Hunter soap, they don't have that UV blocker. And so, therefore, your jeans will then look like they do to your naked eye in regular light. I mean, these gray jeans don't seem like they pop out, right?
Interesting.
But if you
Yeah.
wash them in your Cheer or your Tide or whatever, all the brands, they have a UV blocker so they don't fade. You want to get rid of that for your hunting clothes, and then you'll have that drab look, and it doesn't matter what color you wear. That's why Fred Bear was famous for wearing his red and black plaid shirts. Other hunters can see it, but it doesn't pop. So
Well, I have
even when
jeans
animals
that are 15 years old. I assume that they've kind of faded.
but there's
No?
still a
have that?
then you start to get to the white underneath it, and so that's what
there's
starts
that.
to make them glow. Wash them in. You can go buy it at any of your stores. Academy has it, whatever. And it doesn't really matter what brand. You want no UV blocker,
Wow. All right.
and they'll have a big no UV, no Ghostbuster thing across it.
I was telling them earlier that there's also the Robo Birds that
Yeah.
a lot of people use, and in fact I'm very proud of myself. I'm fixing them because a couple of them had the on-off switch was broken. I didn't realize you can buy an on. Little did I know, and I bought some and I'm replacing. Anyhow, then a friend brought one of these little stubby things that has like just the wing on it, and they'll spin and then stop and then spin and then
Yes,
stop.
they're
I forget the name. I ordered some this
flock
week.
of flickers. Is
It-
what they've.
Flickers.
I've seen
All the birds went
duck
there.
Ones, but
Wow.
they're actually really interesting. The fact that people can spend so much on a decoy,
I know.
and then the simplest things end up working the best.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I got them, and of course, then you spend a fortune on
Well,
batteries. So
the
Right.
Mojos are effective. I can.
They
I
are.
have-
agree.
They
I've
definitely
actually, I've actually seen, evidence. I've done the science and seen the evidence. The Mojos are effective. So it's
I do have my Mojos, but now I got the new ones. Just and it's easier to carry them, right? They're so small. You
Yeah.
just throw them in your backpack, walk out in the field, drop them.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Mojo, you're walking around with the stakes and trying
Right.
to figure out how not to break a wing. And
You know what we ought to do? We ought to go, and I did this once before. I don't know if you remember Daniel Dane. He
absolutely big fan. I
Daniel
was a
Dane
big fan of
was a
Daniel's.
great friend of mine. The only problem we had is when we were together, nobody else could speak because we didn't stop talking. Back and forth.
That's strange. I
So,
can't imagine that.
I mean,
No,
we
that's
were
so weird.
both talkers, but when Tony Carboni was still alive, there's other great coaches as well. They're helping out with our 4-H programs, and again, the secret. I say this yesterday. Somebody was wondering, what are we going to do to turn this next generation around? For me, all I need is one good honky tonk angel to turn my life around. But for the kids, what they need is more involvement with 4-H. I'm telling you
I
right now,
agree.
4-H does some. You get the parents involved. There's no way for them not to be involved. The kids
Mm-hmm.
have responsibilities. They have a goal. There's competition. It doesn't matter whether it's cows, sheep, turkey, whatever it is.
Right.
And holy cow, Farm and Ranch Supply is soon to be new on the Eric Von Wade show here. Got a fantastic shirt from.
I was
here the other
noticing
day.
the shirt actually.
Yeah, this is the new thing. This is the new camo for 2026 right here. This is the new digital
flashy
camo.
stuff, man.
I don't think
Yeah.
you can wear it in 25 though. That's probably
It's
right?
like it's like when you get
You have
that
to
new
take
truck
it off
a
when you
year
get home?
before. Yeah. So
It's
I got
yeah.
a hat that goes with it too.
It's like hunting with Tyler and his patent leather shoes that he only wears, right up to Labor Day.
Right.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's because he knows the fashion rules, and so. But they put on. It's for cattle only. They had steers, heifers. I didn't know there were breeds that they were coming out with in the exotics. These kids, you see little girls that are 5 years old,
yeah.
and their
I agree.
dads are out there with them. Their parents,
That's
they
cute,
all
yeah.
have a whole section. It's like a little party they have in between when they're going to show. I mean. It's an all-day affair. I volunteered 12 hours out there announcing for these people, and it was absolutely fantastic.
That's cool. Well, and
Yeah.
it gets the kids out. I think, my wife, Lauren, and I make a huge point to realize that, with our girls, nothing ever that's really important in life is going to happen on a screen.
No, absolutely. And,
You get
everybody's
out
so glued to
and-
their
Right.
phones these days.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, I'll tell you right now, if I go out on a date and she's on her phone while that's the last date
Oh,
we're
yeah.
going on. I mean, it's because people are so addicted. And I get it. There's been times, I
It's a
can't
new
really
world.
repeat the exact scenario, where I want to share with my friends everything that's about to happen. You're not going to believe this.
Yes.
But
There's a limit.
later. There's
Yeah.
later, Back in the day, you could pick up the phone maybe, but still, I mean, it's there are moments where you need to enjoy the moment, right?
Well, which is why outdoors, you always,
Right.
right? I think that's one of the few places that you really can just go, hey, whoa, wait, look up.
Well,
Right.
and we're at that time of year now when deer's about to open. We've got dove going. We had a short teal season this year, or having a short teal season this year. I got to double check the dates. I don't want people to get me wrong and get a visit from Mr. Green
No.
Jeans.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Yeah, but it's our magic time of the year.
Yeah.
It is.
And it'll rain in January probably.
Right.
All right,
that's
I'm going to write that down.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Rain in
Well-
January. I thought rain in September. I always said, because coming into August, I said, don't worry, it's going to rain in September. Oh, why do you think? I said, because God loves doves
Yeah.
more than he loves humans.
It's true.
So
Every-
when dove season
Yeah.
starts, it rains nonstop. And so far, it actually, bless our hearts,
Right.
it hadn't.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. There's so many things that I love about wing shooting, and all of it because I used to be just like you. I went wing shooting because it was a hunting season before deer season, right?
No, yeah. I just
I took a 1 hour lesson. A 1 hour lesson changed my life. And I had Daniel Dane. I had tons of, I'm trying to remember who else was there. We had 7 guys. I put a group together. We got a 1 hour lesson from Tony Carboni. He's passed on now.
wing shooting, how to
Yeah,
shoot?
we were out there at the Trap Field, Corpus
Yeah,
Christi Pistol and Rifle
sure.
Club. And which, by the way, they ought to be a sponsor of the Eric Von Wade Show. I'm
I
just
know,
saying,
man. We're members.
And
We're fans.
and so this was back in the day when we were just talking about this too. When the naval base for $2.50 you could shoot a round of skeet or trap.
I didn't know that. I don't remember that.
I had a membership out there. It was a whole $12 a month.
Oh wow.
I mean.
I didn't even realize that.
Oh yeah. Michael Miller used to go and do that too. I can see I got phone calls coming in from people who forget I'm on the air.
Someone asking about your car's extended warranty in the middle of your show.
Well, no,
Come
thi-
on.
this would actually be a sponsor.
With
of mine.
me,
This
it's,
is
okay.
Inspirational Pool Designs Unlimited, by the way, which I'll talk to you about. They do fantastic work. 30 years of experience, and great thing. When they build a pool or a spa, you're talking about quality all the way through. Even in this drought condition, you can have a super efficient pool or spa or both, and at the same time have low maintenance and safety. That's the other big thing people don't think about. Pools, when you got little kids, you got to have safety involved.
Yeah. I was thinking. We were somewhere. Actually, we were with. We met the Ice Rays last night.
Yeah,
Went
yeah.
to a function, and this is way off subject, but and it was around a pool. That's what
Right,
made
right.
me think about it. We don't have a pool. It didn't make Carol's cut, so
Well,
because I just lived there. Full disclosure, right? I'm just, happy to make the cut.
I heard a friend of mine who's a comedian say this. He said, he goes, I just broke up with a girl because she needed me. I go, I thought I wanted that. That's like having a puppy with a cell phone. He goes, what you
I'm gonna
want,
use that one.
what you want is somebody that doesn't need you at all, but wants you, right?
Yes.
And he said,
All right, I like that.
He
Yeah,
said,
I think I
because
found that.
He said, yeah, I think you did. It's like, he said, Dad and Mom, they've been together for I don't know how many years, he said, but, Dad knows any day she could be gone. But thanks a bunch. It was fun, but, I got other stuff to do. So he's grateful for every day. They get along just fine. And so it really is. You got a great situation. Everything has its trials
Yeah.
and tribulations. But look,
Well-
you get to go pheasant hunting.
Well, I was going to tell you that.
Yeah.
So my story is that I've been married 41 years, and I had 3 things that were Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's Mark and Carol. And it's
Yeah.
really
Right.
Carol and Mark. When I say Mark and Carol, it's Carol and Mark. I had golf, I had scotch, and I had bird hunting.
Oh,
Those
my
are the 3 things that were just me. And
Sounds
then,
like a fantastic.
I know.
but here's
This
the
is why we
story.
get along.
About 3 years ago, maybe 4, Carol goes, hey, you're always taking the lab out hunting. I'd like to go. And I went, oh, yeah.
Has she ever had feathers in her mouth?
said,
I don't know if
okay,
she's going to retrieve
right.
these birds as well.
So she starts going out, and she hunts, and it was all about the lab. She wanted to watch our lab hunt. So anyhow, so we had that. Then about 2 years ago, we were going to Scotland and with some friends, and she goes, hey, I want to learn how to drink scotch. I went, oh. I said, Carol, let me tell you something. If you pick up golf, I'm leaving you. Because I will not exist. I will just disappear.
Yeah.
I will get lost in this thing, the aura
Yeah.
of Carol. And so,
Right.
but she's a scotch drinker,
Well,
bless her heart.
hey, it's pretty easy to drink scotch, I think. You lift to your lip.
Yeah,
you,
it's not that
you
hard.
swallow-
Step
But it
one,
was all
step
about
2,
hunting.
repeat.
Right.
Hey, so Carol's like, I don't know why I go hunting. I can't hit anything. I went, did you watch me today?
No, but it's like dancing. everybody thinks that everybody's looking at them miss.
Right.
Actually, for the first time in my life, I had people watch me shoot, and I did good at the same time.
I did it. I went pheasant hunting. You were going to talk. I went pheasant hunting last year up in Kansas, and it was one of those days. There were 6 of us. I only knew one, so the other 4 were total strangers, and I never missed. And late in the morning, we had one bird. We need one more bird, and we're in the line. I'm at the far right, and I'm thought, Lord, please don't let the bird come by me because I've done so well. Right? I've done so well.
Keep the streak.
And sure enough, the bird comes up from the left, and about the 4th hunter over, they shot it. And so I didn't have to admit that it was just
That's funny.
dumb luck. I shot so well.
Man, I tell you, we ought to probably take a bonus promotional moment, but let me say this. Look, I think we really ought to do this. Let's plan, bring Carol out. Get your shotgun fitted to you, whatever. We'll take a 1-hour lesson together. I'll do it again.
Carol wants it. Carol wants
because
a lesson.
I'm telling you right now, I've given you the basics. You need to have a cheap mirror. Always check to make sure it's unloaded. One of those long, you get them wherever if you don't have one already. Practice mounting that shotgun, and you're looking at your eyeball, and you want to see the vent rib or the bead at the bottom of your eyeball.
Really?
Boom. That's where, and you bring the gun to your face. Practice that about 25 times a day before you go to work every morning. You'll be amazed at how much better shot. The only other thing people need to do is stop looking at the end of their shotgun. If you're looking at the bead on your shotgun, you're going to be shooting behind that target every time. And there's the whole lead thing.
Yeah.
Solve that problem for you too.
How?
It doesn't matter how far or how fast that bird is following. You swing through the bird, and the moment that the end of your shotgun passes your peripheral vision through there, you squeeze the trigger. Every time.
Really?
Yep. You'll hit them every time.
Oh, man, I should have brought some notepads. Seriously, that's okay. Because I always wonder, like, hey, is that 6-inch lead? Is that a 10-inch?
If you're doing that, you're likely going to stop your follow through when you pull your trigger because you think, oh, I got my 3 feet, I got my whatever. Swing through the moment, and if you can the trick is maintaining that same swing through speed. If they're following fast, as soon as you pass the beak, you squeeze the trigger and you follow through. Boom. I mean, that right there, those are Tony Carbone's instructions to me from 25 years ago.
Wow.
And it's still made a difference. You're going to want to buy more dogs. You're going to want to buy more shotguns. You're going to want to go from that 12 gauge down to a 410, and you're going to be impressed with all the stuff you'll be able to do.
I was laughing. I was hunting with the buddy, and he shot with 410, and I thought, he's never going to hit a thing. I came back, and I'm going to make this up. I killed 6 birds, and he says, I killed 3. And I went, well, yeah, but how? He had a 410. He goes, I shot 6 times. I went, okay, I have to leave now. I mean, if you're 50% on a 410, you're the man.
I got to admit, my favorite is taking a 28 or a 410 out, and you got your limit, and somebody else has got 7 birds.
Oh, my word.
And it's just, it's psychological. It's all psychological.
Really?
It is. Because the pattern, all things being equal, at 20 yards, your pattern is the same size. The only difference is how dense the pattern is. Now, the 28 gauge is the most consistent patterning gauge of all the gauges. It came out in England in 1900, and the 410 was introduced as a centerfire cartridge 1877 in England. All the shotgun gauges all started in England.
Really?
16 gauge. The oldest is the 12 gauge. What's well, I kind of left this obvious. What the newest gauge of a shotgun is?
Oh, no.
20 gauge. Came out around 1920.
I shot a 410, had to get therapy afterwards. I thought I just should throw the gun at the bird. It was
Here's the thing.
hard.
You can't flinch. Zero flinch. Now, here's the other thing. You want to shoot a full choke on that, all right? Because
and I don't know what
that'll
it
give you more consistency. You're either going to hit them or you're
What
not.
choke would you have on an over-under 20 gauge?
I'd shoot a modified.
Both.
I do a modified and improved. So I do my wider spread on my lower barrel, which I usually fire first, and then my top one is my sniper barrel. It's
Oh,
the
y'all are
tighter
talking
pattern.
about having to screw them in. I've got one of those
Right.
chokes
Mine's
from.
screwed
I have a
in.
1927 Winchester Model 12.
It's the poly choke,
It's
right?
a poly choke. So I just it's 3 notches this way.
Really?
Yeah.
You
I didn't even know that.
It tightens or constricts on that.
Yeah.
It's, hey,
And I'm telling you, first time I picked that, I call it my magic gun. It's cheating. If I take that, I'm cheating. I can hit him. It's just there.
So you do modified and then
improved cylinder.
improved. So I realized on my shotgun I was doing just the opposite.
Right.
And so I was blaming it on that for the first time.
You probably have one of those fancy selective barrels, so you could just
I
shoot.
can flip back and
flip
forth.
back and forth.
Which
Yeah.
one
So,
you shoot first?
My guns are so old they didn't even know what that was. But
They barely have a safety. The safety's your
Right.
finger.
Right,
exactly.
right.
Truthfully, that is the only safety there is. The only
I
safety
agree.
is you don't put your finger on that trigger till
Yeah,
you're ready to
absolutely.
shoot. Absolutely.
And I'm so ADD. I'm constantly worried about safety because
Hey,
of So I'm a pretty safe.
Look, I can help you with
and
ADD
I'll tell you
as well.
about I'll tell you my rule after your break.
Okay, we're gonna hear from our friends at Trip Tonight real quick, and I'm gonna reload this coffee, and we'll be right back on the Eric Von Wade Show. Boom.
Everybody's hanging out at JP. The Jeep is getting sandy. A sunny day and we're feeling fine. My girl is barbecuing weenies, shaking her bikini. Nothing like the beach in July. Calling all your girlfriends, surf is up this weekend, starting with a bonfire tonight. My dog is getting lazy. All these beaches crazy. Thanks to that tequila and lime. Tequila and lime. Here's to that tequila and lime. Thank you, tequila. Man, I thought I'd seen it all and heard it all before, but I've never seen so many topless girls on 4x4s. It's a South Texas paradise. Wish I had a pair of lives. I would party sunrise to sunrise to sunrise. And if the time is right, slice the limelight. Jose Ordana or Spallone will make you feel alright. Not feeling alright, you're feeling alright. Pour yourself a shot of Mexico and grab a lime. Here's to that tequila and lime. Thank you, tequila. So when the time is right, slice the limelight. Jose Ordana or Spallone will make you feel alright. Not feeling alright, you're feeling alright. Pour yourself a shot of Mexico and grab a lime. Here's to that tequila and lime. Thank you, tequila.
It's the Eric Von Wade Show, the Mushroom Cloud of Truth.
All right,
We
we
have
have
my
a,
Etta Conyers impression.
I wanted to share with you Mark Scott's rules for hunting.
okay. Let's hear
And
this.
I almost always do that. I may not today because I'm a guest,
Right.
but I always say, hey, I got two rules. Rule
Right.
number one, don't shoot Mark's dog. And then somebody,
yeah.
if my dog's there, they're like, well, we would never shoot your dog. We love your dog. But now my dogs are old and they don't hunt. So if I said that, like I said it Saturday, they went, well, your dogs aren't here. And I went, you're at 50%. You should feel good about it. And they cock their head and they go, what's rule number two? Don't shoot Mark.
Yeah.
And they'll invariably say, well, maybe today's the day I shoot you. And my point is, you're thinking about it. 'Cause that's, right?
Right.
Accidents happen
Right.
when we're not thinking safety. And so
Right.
I do that all the time because I'm like, hey, man, if you're going to shoot me, be intentional. I don't want to
Right.
be that guy who gets peppered from the left or
Look,
the right.
and I say this, you know what the most dangerous hunting is? The most hunting accidents that happen in hunting year after year.
I was thinking quail or something, right? 'Cause
Correct.
you're walking
Correct.
around. You don't know where the other guys are. You should, but you don't.
I got witnesses for this. There was I had a TV anchor that was down from San Antonio, and early the next morning we heard on the news that that there was this shooting. Right, so Vice President Dick Cheney
Yeah, sure.
accidentally shot a lawyer.
Yeah.
And right
You
then,
think?
I was surprised
I mean,
it made
was
the
it?
I was
Was
surprised.
it?
I was surprised it made the news. I got a lot of lawyer friends. I had to give them. Lawyers were upset about this immediately.
Yeah, sure.
The Bar Association sent out, the flags were at half staff and everything. And then the lawyer apologized because he was in the wrong.
Right.
He got
too far ahead,
of the
right?
line.
Yeah.
But I called it. I got a witness. If I have to, she'll come out of obscurity and name herself in this. I said, I bet you he shot him with a 28 gauge Parazzi. Now, granted, I'm just using personality. I'm using nothing but my ESPN or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It was a 28 gauge Parazzi.
Really?
He shot him with. Yep. Now, the fact, because I'm going about distance and I'm looking at they had a picture of before they released that, I could go, that's a very consistent number of red dots on his face. And I go, that looks like a 28 gauge pattern to me.
Would the damage have been more? Is I asking? If it was like a 12 or a 20?
No.
Or would have been.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
If you actually look at the velocities, again, 410 came out and by Eli and Sons in 1877 in England. It was a super fast cartridge. And so you actually have a higher velocity with a 410 than you do any of the others. It mattered.
All right.
If it was a 410, it might have penetrated a little deeper and done more damage. If it was heavier shot, but they're shooting Quail, he was shooting 8-shot. I think I guessed that as well. I found that somewhere if you dug enough into it because they had all the evidence at some point in time released. But Quail, that's where everybody has to wear orange. I don't care how much, because you need to be able to see where people are, and people get excited. And that's why it's always good if you haven't been quail hunting before. It doesn't hurt to have a guide the first time because you'll see the pattern of safety and get it. I'm a creature of habit. If you have ADD, I have ADD. Never been actually diagnosed, but I don't think anybody's going to argue with you about it.
Right.
But if I develop a habit, I only know how to do things one way.
Yeah.
And this is rifles only training down south of Kingsville. They do a lot of Department of Defense training for the best of the best of the best. People who, if they die, their names aren't going to be on a wall, kind of a thing. And their philosophy is this. It doesn't matter whether you're showing somebody your pistol or whether you're in combat. You do everything one way. And then no matter how nervous you are, no matter how much, that's the only way you know how to do it. Mm-hmm. And that's the correct way. That gives you all the advantages. Same thing with hunting. I develop a pattern of safety. Skydiving, if you're not a creature of habit, you probably maybe
you need to be
pick a different
scuba diving, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Because I develop a pattern of this is what I do every time because it's how you make sure you're safe. I don't want to die. I mean, people go, you do all these extreme sports.
Right.
Well, they're dangerous for people who don't keep. I mean, I have a presence of mind too, but there are days where I don't. So if I only do things one way, that's why I may have changed radio stations after 16 years, but I drove to the wrong one every day for about 3. I mean, it's just I'm used to.
Your brain gets in motion. And
right.
And
You reminded me. I skydived. I'm not probably 10 times years ago, and my buddy, the first time we went out, jumped. He didn't follow the procedure, and panicked.
Yeah.
And so I actually he ended up in a neighborhood. And Eddie tells the story. He came through and he had to raise his feet to miss the power line.
Yeah.
Then he saw the roof of a house and he thought, well, I'll just be Superman. I'll run, and then I'll land in the front yard.
Yeah.
He lost all his air in the backyard.
Yep.
And so he hit the eaves of the house and the chute went over on the roof and he dropped straight down.
Yeah.
Now he's like a foot off the ground. Just
Dangling.
hanging there, looking in a picture window at a family having dinner. Can you imagine? He said, I'm looking at him. The guy looks at me like, what? And he said he came out and the guy chewed him out because he broke his eaves.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, do you just not.
You think I did this deliberately?
Right? And so the joke was, all right, Mark, there's not time for you to jump today. You're going to jump tomorrow. I went, man, I had all night to think about that. But he didn't follow the rule, which I followed the next day and landed on the dot that we.
Well, I mean, true story. Now, there's no absolute rule for this, but the standard is if you're going to jump into a stadium for a demonstration, you need to have 3,000 jumps. If you're going to jump into a stadium at night, they want you to have 8,000. Okay, I had 80, and my skydive instructor said you can do it.
Yeah.
So I'm used to being in the military, right? It's at night. We're in Kingsville. And the glory spot is to be the first one out because you're the first one down. You got smoke on your ankles. They got these little canister with straps and all that kind of good stuff.
Looking super cool, yeah.
And it was a big football game in Kingsville. At night, you don't see anything. I mean, it's black except for the stadium, right? And there was a strong wind. And so I thought, he said look out. But I thought he said get out. So I
Oh,
opened
my
the door and
God, you
jumped out.
jumped early?
Yeah. So I opened the door and jumped out. And I'm like, well, I go, I didn't see anybody else get out. This is my first time jumping at night, period, into a stadium. Right?
Oh, my word.
And I'm like, well, nobody else got out. Maybe I can't see him because it's dark.
There you
right?
go. Yeah,
And,
sure.
Although I could see from.
It's not like you can get back in anyhow.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Right?
That was the very first time I jumped out of a plane. I had all sorts of anxiety. I saw the video. Go, I didn't look nervous at all. That's my gift. I can hide all that.
All
Keep
right.
it. But and I thought that doesn't work. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
tried to flap my wings, and you're
No.
not going back up, right?
Right.
So. My thought is, if you die, do you want to be nervous and ruin all that and
No.
just enjoy the
Right.
thing and then worry about the bounce right before it happens?
Right.
So anyway, so my chute opens. I had a Spectre 135, which is designed for a lot of demonstration stuff. I had the weight ratio just right. And I'm sitting there and I'm coming along and I'm going, I don't know, it's looking kind of close. I go, this is going to be. I came in. I was a little worried. There's high tension power lines. I'm over the parking lot.
Yeah.
I heard about people hitting the parking lot. You don't want to hit the goal post. You can't go through the
Yeah.
middle of it. Don't try that. You
Yeah,
got to
'cause
go
you're-
past. So I'm coming in on the right side of it. If you're in the stadium, I come past it and I landed. My foot touched the ground immediately in the center of the 50-yard line.
Oh,
that is the
my
perfect
word.
spot to
Yeah.
land. And then I look up and I see all these other skydivers getting out of the plane right over me. And they landed and they came up there. We thought we were never going to see you again. They were hugging me. Like, you got out way early, man. And I was like, I thought he said, get out. He said, look out. You're supposed to open the door and look. And when you're right over the stadium.
Well,
then
you got to say that loud.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
wind up there. Look out, get out. There's an out involved, and
It's
out is out.
Right.
You know?
It's a Cessna 182. They've taken all the seats
Right.
except for
We had that.
Yeah.
One other time, this is the only time I ever had a moment where I wasn't thinking skydiving. There was a fire on the plane, right?
Wow.
Oh.
And it was smoke coming out of the dash. And I turned to the owner of the drop zone's wife and I go, what are we going to do? There's a fire on this plane. And she goes, I don't know about you, but I have this thing called a parachute.
I think
I'm
I'm
going to
just gonna
jump
get
out.
out.
And go,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We do have these things.
Did the pilot land the plane? Because the pilot doesn't have a chute.
No,
I
no.
guess.
We were over a golf course. It was an electrical fire with the radio on an airplane's a little bit more involved because you've got to keep
Yeah.
on those small planes. You part of your signal. Anyway, he just
Yeah.
ripped it out and threw it out after we got out, so that stopped the fire.
All right.
And he said,
flew on.
And so we landed on a golf course. Somebody twisted an ankle on the 9th hole because they had all these little divots,
Oh, yeah.
whatever it was. But that was the extent of it. And so
So my deal is we're doing it in Beeville, and they teach
Yeah.
you like the three
Sky's
or
the limit.
five. That's right. 5-step rule. Step 1, you grab the door. Step 2, but at some point in there, you step out and you put your hands on the strut,
right.
Mm-hmm.
and then you let go of your feet and you dangle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the theory is you dangle for a second, they go release,
Yeah.
you release back, and it was a static line jump.
Right.
But I'm hanging on to the strut of this plane, and they go release, and I don't release. So they think I'm panicking. I'm
Yeah.
like, and I look like, no, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, when am I going to be
Yeah.
dangling from a plane
It's like
again?
it's like the coolest thing
so
ever.
much fun.
It's like, yeah,
Right.
the little
And so
kid
I
in you
literally
is
kind of
just-
go like, whatever. All right, Mom.
Yeah.
I'll do my homework, and I release back. and
Did y'all
pull
ever
the
have
chute
like
back.
repeated nightmares as a child? I had this
Oh, I've got one.
as a
Yeah.
younger. I had the same nightmares over and over
got
again.
one.
One of them was I showed up at church or school with no pants or underwear. I had a shirt, tie,
Yeah.
no pants. I don't
Almost
know what that
there.
means.
All right.
Then I had one where I'm on the outside of a plane like James Bond, and the wind shear is so strong that I couldn't hold on.
can't
Right.
hold on,
So I convinced Gary, who owned the Sky's the Limit. We tied a tether between the permanent landing gear. And so I learned how to do everything. They call it the Batman, the strut you had there.
Yeah.
You can grab hold of that, you pop your feet up on the front of the wing,
Oh.
and you can hang upside down.
I bet you could.
So
Sure.
I did
Yeah.
that. Then I was the only person. Everybody else was falling. I
Right.
slid down that. The step has got skateboard tape on it. I got a pretty good rash hanging on
Yeah,
it.
that'll get
I
you.
remember
But
that.
I climbed. We had a tether between the two wheels. I was underneath the plane, just
Sure.
hanging there for miles. The only problem was it was like I was supposed to let go a long time ago. So
Right.
now
It's so much fun.
I know. I mean, you're just like, woohoo!
Right.
And I'm no fear of falling. I never had the nightmare again.
Really?
I let go and I landed in the Beeville Stadium right there.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
hit the 50. Now, that first time when I did it, I never hit the 50-yard line again, no matter
Ever
how
again.
many night jumps I did. It was just, I'm knock my ear.
Well,
But-
so I did that jump. I end up landing because they have an arrow, and there's a bunch
Yeah.
of guys, 4 guys, and you look down and you do what the arrow says. The arrow says turn left. You You
Yep.
move your chute left. So I land right on the arrow. Immediately throw my arms up because I'm the man. The one thing I forgot to do was pull the chute down.
Yeah.
So I go, I'm the man. Chute stays open, pulls me back about 20 feet. I'm like, I'm not the man. I'm not the man. I just tuck my tail.
It's one of those like cool moments in life when you're like, man, the inner kid in you is just so
Yep.
happy.
The inner
And it's
kid
like,
is so happy.
I am so awesome today.
Right,
Well, that's
right.
the only other way that I could think, you can kind of match that would be like those the PBR guys that are riding a bull on an aircraft carrier when they had it at the Lexington.
Yeah,
sure,
Like how much
sure.
cooler can you be than
Right.
riding a bull on an aircraft
Right.
carrier?
Exactly.
Like that's awesome.
It's fantastic. And Mark Scott, city councilman, also outdoorsman. You've done lots of cool stuff. I thought it was good to get more perspective out there about some of the stuff that you do. I want to go pheasant hunting. I've dreamed of it for years. I know you've
yeah.
been a couple
Yeah,
of times.
yeah.
And
So where is about the southmost region of where decent pheasant hunting?
I think Kansas.
begins?
Kansas,
is,
yep.
is the
Okay.
South. And I think somebody will correct me, but I think Kansas actually allows 4 birds a day, whereas South Dakota and North
Yeah.
Dakota are 3 birds a day. So you
Mm-hmm.
get an extra bird. I think that's right.
No, the last I checked, again,
right.
the rules sometimes change every year. That's one thing.
you
I've
can-
got a new game warden friend,
You
game warden
can find pheasant in North Texas. Some
Yeah.
people do. I just think it's a little
Panhandle.
harder. Yeah.
If you're going to drive
Yeah.
that far,
right?
I mean, here's the
Right.
thing. What makes me frustrated is that you can buy pen raised birds. There's people who hunt
Right.
some pen raised birds, but they're slower. It's not as they're
Right.
not as
Yeah.
as
I think
savvy.
it's a challenge. I told Carol one day, I said, you don't know how hard it is to have to kick the bird out of the grass
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then shoot it without shooting yourself.
Right.
I
Or
mean, because the
without blowing
pin-raised
it up.
birds are like, yep, nope, not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and
you
when
really
they,
need
when
to
they
jump.
flush, sometimes it's so violent and loud, like it's scary. Like
Right.
It'll scare
Oh,
you
yeah.
if you're
On the
not
roof.
paying
We're
attention.
talking big birds. This is where labs come in. Now I had
Right.
Brittany Spaniels. They were
Right.
probably big enough to do it, but big dogs for big birds. That's why geese and the rest of that, you're going to see a lot of Labrador retrievers and stuff like that. But here's the thing that was and I have a sixth sense of humor. I
Really?
guess. So
I didn't know
one
that.
year,
kidding.
I mean, a guy cut his finger off. I couldn't stop laughing. It
Oh,
but
come on.
It was stupid.
You're like, hey, that was funny. Come on now.
He was mad at a dog and tried to kick it. He kicks the jack. And so
He regretted that.
But no, this one, so we bought these pen raised birds, and they were delicious. I mean, we had them. I didn't think about eating them. I thought I'm trying to train my Brittany's. This is the first year, and we had a drought. If you don't have a lot of rain, you don't have a bug hatch. If you don't have a bug hatch, you don't have a lot of baby quail.
Oh, all right. I
And
didn't
so,
know
and also the quail that are there, they funnel towards watering holes, which makes it easy because quail are nature's nachos. Everything likes
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I mean, the coyotes eat them up. You got so
All the
you
cats,
want,
raccoons, everything.
right.
will.
You want a
Yeah.
wet year for a good quail population, and you also don't want to kill every bird in every covey. You need to leave some
Right,
birds
I
in every
remember that,
covey.
yeah.
So. We got these pen raised birds. It's like watching a bumblebee fly. They're so fat and they got these wings, and
Right.
so they'll let the dogs get a lot closer to them. And you got to work on keeping your dogs back because they'll think they can crowd, wild birds that close, and the wild birds
Yeah.
don't put up with that.
Right.
And blue quail, that's a whole other story because they'll run on the ground forever. But most of your quail,
They're Bob Whites.
right, they'll freeze. Because and your dogs, they freeze. That's their hunter instinct, and they're waiting for who's going to move first. It's like a game of chicken, right?
Yeah.
Well, when these birds get up and they start flying, I had a 410 full choke, right? So they get to going, and you think the time. Your mind has a sense of timing. I'm used to wild birds, and they get a certain amount of seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
So I pull the trigger, and you see wings, head, everything. 4 sections to
In
blow
pieces.
apart.
Right.
Just
After
quartered it.
about the
Explosion.
there's nothing left to
Right,
eat, right?
right.
After about the 4th time, there was an old guy that I bought 4 Brittany's out of Nolan's Last Bullet. That was the winningest field trial dog at that time in history, and partnered with some female I didn't know, but they all turned out to be great dogs. And so he had one, my buddy Rocky had one, I had one, and another friend had another, and so after about the 4th one, he starts cussing. Eric, you're not allowed to shoot till I say shoot. You have to wait. And so I just it's right there, boom, and I can't even repeat on the air what he would start to say. That's coming out of your nose.
Well, our deal is if you shoot a hen, you got to buy dinner.
Yeah.
Which the first year, it was like in a Whataburger, like what the heck. But as we got more successful, the meals and then the alcohol, of course, on top.
Oh.
So you want to make sure
That's a
that's a
given.
rooster. Now that they look so much prettier than
Oh,
they,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
still, you're on the line and somebody starts yelling rooster, and you're wondering, do they just want me to buy dinner,
Yeah.
right? Do they just,
Yeah.
So we're hunting in central South Dakota.
Great place.
We hunt all day, and Patrick shoots a hen. In fact, he doesn't shoot one. he shoots 2 because he's an idiot, you know. and
He wanted
the
to
guy,
really buy dinner.
the guy doesn't even try to find the second one, but Patrick's so convinced he shot a rooster,
Yeah.
he won't let go. And so finally, the guide walks over to me like this one, and it's the second hand, which means Patrick's buying dinner. So we get to the restaurant. I immediately walk to the bar, and I said, hey, let me tell you something. I want the most expensive wine in the bar. And the lady goes, sir, it's right here. And I look down, and it's white wine, $2, red wine, $2. I went, yeah, I'll have a scotch. I mean, it's going to be $2,
Right.
wine. It ain't. So anyhow, Patrick
Smells
didn't have
like
to pay.
Indy 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, though. I know you like wine. I like
Oh, yeah,
wine,
I had
right?
some last night.
The best hunting wine in a box.
Oh.
I'm telling you right now.
All right.
Black box. Black box wine. They
I've
make
heard
a
good
Pinot
things.
Noir.
Me too,
That is freaking tastic.
Yeah.
That was part of the thing. When we go hunting, we look because I bought an expensive bottle of wine, a full bottle of Special Select Reserve Jim Beam one time, 2 different occasions, and both times it's like buying a woman a Dooney and Burke purse. It ends a relationship. I opened the door and somehow they broke before I even got a chance to taste any of it. So I buy box wine
Yeah,
or
that's
cheap
smart.
wine because I mean, I'm a Robert Mondavi, not Merlot. I'm sick of Merlot.
Cab?
Cab,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
if I'm out
yeah,
hunting,
yeah.
that's the Audette hunting wine.
Well,
Yeah.
we used to hunt. We used to fly into Bismarck, rent cars, drive 2 hours south, stayed in the Motel 6,
Yep.
hunted a couple of farmers' fields. Had so much fun, right? Really simple, inexpensive. We'd have breakfast at the some cotton yard or where they were auctioning cattle on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Well,
You
that's cool.
Such a cool place,
Yeah.
right? Then that kind of group broke up, and now we go to a lodge and they fix our meals, and it's nice
Right.
and it's fun.
Well,
Although
there are different types of hunting experiences like
Right.
that. My buddy one time figured they had some clients coming out to the ranch, so they were like, "Yeah, we'll just buy some quail," because there were just a bad, like you
Right.
said, bad season for quail. So they went out and got these pens of quail, and had them on the back of the 4-wheeler. And my buddy gets out and said, "Okay, call me when they're pulling in the gate, because we'll get up, and that's the first thing we'll do is just everybody arm up and." Oh yeah, I think the
Yeah.
quail are going to be this way, and go out to them. And so my buddy gets out there and he says these quail were so domesticated. He dumped them out of the pen, and they just sat there looking at the 4-wheeler like, "What?
do you
What's
wanna do?
going
They're
on?
following
Yeah.
him home
Yeah.
for
Where's
dinner.
the food,
you
Dad?"
know?
You know. And he's like sitting there trying to
Go
scatter
shoot.
them, and they're like sitting.
Shoot.
So he dumps the other box, and they do the same thing.
Right.
And the guy's like, "Oh, hey, they're driving in right now." So my buddy gets on the 4-wheeler and starts going back down the trail, straight back to the house. He says, "I look behind me, and there's all these quail walking right down the road."
That's awesome.
He said the guys pulled up and got out of the truck, and these quail, just a trail of them all the way down the road, coming right at the guys
You're
with
that
the
guy.
guns. And I was like, "Oh, gee."
Well, no joke. I mean, I have seen. You can have domesticated animals, and then you could have a really dry, bad year, and I'll tell you what happens here. So I had a buddy of mine. I don't know if you guys know Stan Bryan, but Stan
Old
Bryan,
school
great,
listener, yeah.
great musician, by the way. And I used to have Stanley Bryan. He's retired now. He listens to the show every now and then here on Retro Country 105.9, 103.3. Our special guest, by the way, City Councilman Mark Scott. We're talking about hunting. He likes, I'm telling you, if I ever can get you and we get a group of people together, 1 hour, and I will
want
change
it.
your life. You will
I'd
be the
like
guy
to do
that
that.
shows off. You won't be able to
I
get enough.
so badly want to hit what I aim at.
Yeah, you
I
will.
mean, I don't need people come to council every week and tell me how stupid I am. I need no help. I need no help being
getting
a
plenty of
failure,
that.
right? If I could just hit a bird,
That's
you know,
too
come
funny.
on.
You got to have an ego boost, and this is the thing that you'll just be smiling at them with their body cam on, and they're mumbling. You know, if you curse at the mayor and you mumble it, it still counts.
clearly.
You
Yeah, I
still
think it
counts.
does. Yeah,
I saw that. I was like, this guy just wanted to get arrested. I've
Yeah.
been arrested before. It's not that much fun.
Oh, by the way, he sent us an email saying, I demand you all put in writing that I can't say what I said. And I'm like, hey, that's a mayoral thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I don't think you should be able to say what he said.
I think you should respond in wingy dings, all capital wingy dings.
Yeah.
And let him translate that. I mean, the guy he needs some friends. He needs to go hunting. He needs to get involved in 4-H.
I heard this guy came to council a couple years ago with a machete.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was his deal. It's my Second
I'm
Amendment.
so glad you
right
said
to
that.
take
You know how
a
many people
machete
keep
and
thinking it was me? I mean, just because I carry a knife
Right,
all the time. I
okay,
thought,
yeah.
I didn't carry a machete. They sent me back for a little knife, and then the guy apologized. He's like, my boss said it was okay. I tried to catch you, but you were already on your way back to your truck. I was like, it's all right,
Yeah,
I always said
machete.
this, unless you're going to have metal detectors and security,
Which we-
which you do,
do,
right?
yeah.
We
So-
just added the metal detector
Yeah.
into the council chamber.
and so I said, here's the thing. I don't want to go in unarmed. I mean, because otherwise I'll keep my word. The guy that's going to do something bad, how are you
Right.
going to trust him? Well,
Right.
so
Right.
I know the police officers, and I know I can horse one guy around. I'm pretty good friends with him. He's got a vest on, so I feel like I'm okay, you know. But I mean, if you need some undercover security, you let me know. I'll be there for you.
So we had we had 2 stories. So number one, years ago,
Security right there.
the police did a security search of the council chambers, and then we were in closed session. They had a couple things. One, they said we don't want you to have a gun because if nobody has a gun and somebody starts shooting, we know that's the bad guy.
Okay.
Right.
And we'll shoot the bad guy.
Right.
If you have guns, we don't know if you fired the shot, or you fired the shot.
Yeah, I get that.
anyhow, but the essence of it was, and they meant this with complete sincerity. They said,
Right.
guys, our job's to protect you to the point
Right.
of taking a bullet. We are here in the council chambers to protect you with our lives. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, hey, I'm a Yahoo from Kingsville, Texas, and you're telling me you will protect me with your life. And that was really, I was emotional. So we come out, and John Houston, who's the captain, great guy.
Yeah.
I see John. I go, hey, John, man, I got to tell you, what y'all said back there made me emotional. He goes, oh, my God, not you. And I looked at him and he says, no, we talked about that. You're so skinny that we're going to hide behind the table. The bullet will go right through you.
Yeah.
And when you fall, we're
Right.
going to apply aid. And I went, oh, that's good.
That's-
That's
Well,
good.
so you have to put up with 3 minutes of public comment
Right.
from all these people during
Times
the meeting.
30, times
Do people just not understand how it works? Like you're out, at a restaurant or something, and someone comes up for their 3 minutes of public comment, like at random places.
You
Right,
wish it was
right.
3 minutes. I mean, if it's not
Hey,
in
Mark, do you have a
council,
second? No.
Yeah.
they're going to keep going. I don't know why, and I say this: they ought to put some AR-500 plate behind your desk, so that way, if somebody does go nuts, you can duck behind it. And
Or in front of it. I often wonder, it's just plywood. I'm like, man, I'd duck and it'd go right through that.
it's a
going
special
my line.
plywood. But what they ought to do, I'm seriously, they put it behind it, nobody would see, right? But you guys have some security; it'd be worth the investment.
Well,
I'd vote for
the
that.
second thing, we had a big deliberation about council members carrying guns, and I had a council member who was really upset. He desperately wanted to bring his gun, his pistol, and I went, "Hey, dude, I'm more concerned about you shooting me
Yeah.
in an argument
and
than
that-
somebody in the council chambers."
That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. It's like, look, if you're in a movie theater, that gun is not for you to be John Wick and protect everybody.
right.
That gun is your exit ticket.
Right.
In a worst case scenario.
Right.
So
And we're
you got to
safe
treat
in
it that way. Remember, and everybody out there I'm sure knows this, but there's a lawyer attached to every shell in that gun.
Absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
remember that in our gun license
Here's
class.
the thing:
Yeah.
I have done, and I humbly say, an enormous amount of training over my life, right?
bet, sure.
And what good did it do me in a situation where
Well,
I
you're still
didn't have my
here.
gun? It was, because you think it's close enough, it's inside, but there's a different scenario. There's no arm, there's no metal attack. When I go into council, I'm not having a problem with it because we've got plenty of security
Plenty
there,
of security.
right?
Now, more now than I've ever seen.
But I would say this: look, not everybody they need to think about things in reality. If just because you get a license for concealed carry, you've shot at a static target
Right.
under sterile conditions
Right.
that's not shooting back.
Right.
I've been shot at with and without guns before. It's a different scenario. And not everybody can handle it. I mean, there's
totally
training
agree.
facilities
I've
we've
never-
gone through. I don't want to mention which outfit, but there's people who are working on the border with the worst of the worst, and they go through simunition training, paintball, to weed out. And there are people who will freeze up, panic, and
believe it.
and you ought to know. Like, I thought until I got shot at for real, maybe my confidence comes from my knowledge that it's a paintball, not. But no,
Yeah.
it transfers over because there's not much you can
Interesting.
do about it in those situations. But I'll say this, council, people need to start thinking about respecting the position. It's not so much about the individual, but it's your city council, it's your city, and yourself. Your family name is attached to that. If you can't articulate, you can be angry, you can be passionate,
Right, disagree.
but if we start using this sort of language, there are children there. People bring their families.
Yeah.
You want them to get involved. They don't need to be hearing that. I mean, I was still raised, and I still believe that families don't think it's appropriate for children to be cursing when they're at 10, 12, 8, 5. I mean, we've got kids coming in, and there are ladies present. What happened to self-respect? I may have a passionate disagreement with you or whomever else on one issue. The next issue, I start with a fresh slate. So I don't want there to be a lingering resentment
Right.
because I made it personal.
Right.
Well, that's one of the beautiful things I think about Corpus and the size of our city and the fact that we are you have accessible city council members.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's my
And-
point. You see me at Whataburger, you see me at HEB, you're
Yeah.
going to see me at a,
Right.
a
It's so
bar.
easy in a place like
we're all out.
Houston.
I don't want to have to be
Just
afraid
get
Mark's
lost
going to take that long left hook and catch me upside the
Although
head.
I will tell you, I have developed a unique ability at HEB to look down an aisle and go, does it know me? Knows me and likes me, knows me and doesn't like me, and wants to say something. So at least you're prepared, because what happens, what the worst situation is, you're completely caught off guard from somebody that steps in front of you
Right.
and
Yeah.
says something really angry.
Yeah.
And the natural response is to say something angry back.
Right, right.
You know, and so what you do is you start to go,
Your radar goes up.
Right,
Wow.
and that's not like you avoid them, but
Right.
at least I have a sense that you want to say
Well, it's-
something. Oh, here's the best though. So I used to have much longer hair, and I was
All
at
the cool
HEB
people
one
do.
day. I had my baseball cap, I had my sunglasses, I had my earbuds in.
Right.
I'm in complete "don't talk to me" mode.
Right.
And I've got whatever. I'm in the line. I'm getting ready to check out, and I could feel the presence. And I look back, and he's a monster of a man. He is completely tattooed up, and he is angry. And he goes, "Hey." And I went, here we come.
Okay.
I take my earbud. I said, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Are you that Mark Scott?" And I went, "Yes, sir, I am." He goes, "I got one thing to say to you." Then he paused. He goes, "I got one thing to say to you." Pause. He goes, "Man, my wife loves your hair." And I went, "What?" And I literally go, "What pothole can I fix for you today?" I have
That's
told
funny.
that story for a decade. I'm like, so about the time you think you figured it out, you haven't. You know?
Well, Debbie and Blake still say that, he had to stop going to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Because naturally, he was your congressman. He's
Yeah.
a
Oh my
representative.
gosh, what a deal.
And so he had to stop going to the grocery store because he would sit there and chat with people and they talk about things that were coming up, and it was part of his job, part of what he did. But
Right.
it would take him 4 hours
Right.
to go to HEB because he sat there and chatted
Yeah.
with everybody.
Carol's take is, I'm going to the car. Like,
Yeah.
this is going to be a minute.
Yeah.
And that's also a little message to
Yeah.
the conversation with, hey, we're at HEB. We got to get,
Yeah,
milk's
yeah.
got to get home.
I gotta tell this one story. I forgot about this till you were just talking about this. When I was about, how old are you in the first grade? I don't know. I was
Six, right?
Six.
Isn't that how it goes?
Six or
this
seven.
is
Seven?
This is the nerd and cool guy that I was. I always thought I hung out with the cool kids, sat at the cool table, but they didn't understand my obsession with certain things. All the way back to first grade, I went to Corpus Christi Christian School. It's not there anymore. And I was with my granddad at Whataburger. And I saw a lot of things at Whataburger back in the day. I saw a biker feeling up his girlfriend in front of the woman for the first time. And it's still emblazoned in my mind to this day. I was
Oh, I bet it does.
but I saw a guy, maybe you remember Luther Jones?
Oh, he was my first treasurer.
And so I wanted his autograph. I go, that's the mayor, because we watch the news every night with my grandparents. So I went and got his autograph. Looking back on it, the smile on his face was like, this kid's messed up already.
Right,
Here you
right.
go.
He's got no chance. No, I think he thought it was really cool.
Well,
He would be
that
that kind of guy.
local politicians, oftentimes, we have a very narrow but concentrated amount of people who follow what's going on. And when you expand outside of that, it's a rarity. I remember talk radio, I've had people that look goths, big boots, mohawks, tattoos on the side of their head, show up I was at a Lobos Industrial Trade Show. This guy wanted me to give his autograph. Then he said, "You want to autograph my wife's chest?" Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
How do you say yes like I don't want to, but I really do?
because she was all,
Yes.
and I was like, okay.
Oh.
I mean, when you
That's
expand
funny.
outside,
I'm
the
just
traditional-
curious, was it a small signature?
Oh, I
Eric?
gotta
Was
say,
it
I
a
practiced
big
the
John
signature.
Hancock, that
The
one.
E
Right.
touches the V in
Sure.
the middle,
It's
and the
important.
W comes around in the same thing. So
it's
a
got to
big
be a
loop.
good signature.
It's
you
got to
know.
be a good Sharpie. I'll tell you this.
Okay.
I
Really?
learned it 1996.
Yeah.
I went to the Republican National Convention as the youngest delegate from Texas.
All right.
It wasn't planned. I didn't know that there was but somebody bowed out after we had a bunch
Yeah.
of anyway. So I went and I got autographs on a pre-published thing of all the people there. George W. Bush was the master of ceremonies 96. He signed with a Sharpie. It stood out amongst all the rest of them. Everybody else used my pen. And I had
Sharpie's
that
the
triple matted. It got stolen, but it was awesome.
Crazy. Well, this has been the Eric Von
Hey, this
Wade
has been
Show
fun,
featuring
guys.
Mark
Yeah.
Scott. Hey, thank you for joining us out here at Doc's Steaks and Seafood.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, Augs. We need to get together, do some dove hunting. I need to get
Love
your
it.
autograph, Mark Scott.
Yeah.
And thanks for taking
Not
the
on
time
your
here.
chest, though.
No. Well, no.
See,
it
we
wouldn't
have
be-
boundaries, dude.
And I already know I could autograph your dog, maybe something
Yeah.
like that. I was thinking about your
Oh,
autograph.
Boykin Spaniel. That's what Carol said we're going to get.
Great dogs.
Yeah.
Get 2 of them for a friend of
Really?
yours if you find
All
one.
right.
All right.
Boykin Spaniel.
Hey, it's KUKA Driscoll, Corpus Christi, live from Doc Seafood and Steaks. Tomorrow I've got Kristen Johansson Weisheimer, supermodel and breeder from Cypress Farms of Boston Terriers.